Welcome to Story Matrix. Another day, another story. It's winter, the busiest time of the year. The city of New York was in a state of panic. A string of mysterious deaths had been occurring over the past few months. And no one seemed to have any clues as to who was responsible. People were suddenly dropping dead in the streets, and this news went viral on all news and social media platforms. The victims were all seemingly healthy individuals, and there were no apparent signs of foul play. The city was gripped with fear, and all pressure was on Mayor Willis to quickly address this issue so people could enjoy the holiday season. The best of NYPD was working on these cases, but there were no results. Everyone in NYPD and Mayor Willis knew only one man could solve such a complex mystery: John Miller. John was a highly skilled ex-Marine sniper and veteran NYPD detective who was released from the force because of his past. However, the people were afraid, and there was no end in sight. So, Mayor Willis had no choice but to convince John to work on this case. John didn't like Mayor Willis, but he always prioritized the people. So he accepted the case on one condition. "I will work the case in my style," the mayor reluctantly agreed. John looked at all the cases, and nothing seemed to connect the victims. They were of different age groups, from 23 to 67. They belonged to different races and genders, and nothing seemed to link them. John always believed, the truth is always hidden in plain sight. He then started looking in the crime scene photos, and there it was. 2 out of the 7 crime scenes had a box that looked very similar. As there was no official COD, he ordered complete toxicology reports on all victims. There was nothing in their bloodstream that John had hoped to see. But, at night, John received a text from the medical examiner on the last victim's blood sample. It was as he had suspected. An almost untraceable toxin that wears off after a few days. John went to all the victims' houses and confirmed they had received a strange package in the last week leading up to their death. But only the 2 victims had the package at their house, and the others didn't. Questions were swirling around in John's brain. Why did only the 2 victims still have the box that contained the package? Why did all 7 victims use the box's contents despite not knowing the sender? Why did the killer target these 7 random individuals who were not related by location, age, or race? Is there a serial killer killing people at random? John then interviewed family members, friends, and colleagues, but no one seemed to have any information to help him solve the case. John was full of questions, but he knew the toxin was very hard to come by and required medical knowledge. Again, John's mantra paid off, and the answer was staring right in front of him. The medicine cabinet. John then searched the victim's medicine cabinet, and although they all went to different doctors and had different ailments, they had one thing in common. They all went to the same pharmacist, Denton. John decided to pay Denton a visit. Denton was calm and collected and answered all of John's questions. But it didn't fool John. John asked a few trick questions and found out Denton's left hand twitched whenever he lied. He immediately arrested him and brought him in for questioning. Denton didn't break a sweat because all John had was a gut feeling and no concrete proof. But little did he know that John was a master poker player and nobody would dare call out his bluff. John had to come up with the biggest bluff he'd ever done in 60 seconds. John said, "I know how you did it." He continued, "You knew all the victims very well, as they were your frequent shoppers. You sent them a package a week before their death. You packaged it anonymously, so it can never be traced back to you. But once they opened the package, you hid a note explaining it was a new holiday tradition. And were testing out these packages for gift giving. You also sent them their medications laced with poison as free gift. They all used it, and nobody would suspect a thing because the toxin was untraceable, and the victims used the medicine daily." Denton's jaw dropped to the floor. John knew he had him now. He said, "Now, I also know why you did it, but if you tell me and confess, I'll go easy on you." Denton broke down and started confessing to the crime. He said, "I was knee-deep in debt, and there was no light in sight. But then, I was approached by Sean Grant, a local business mogul. He offered to pay off my debt and give me 100 grand more. He wanted to kill the 7 people because they were all journalists and ecologists trying to gather evidence to expose him and his company for all their illegal practices. If they did, there would be no Sean Grant. John then handed off the case to NYPD and left. The mayor was very impressed and wanted to thank him, but he was nowhere to be found. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more.